MMA Boxing Talk here. I want to make this video about Anthony Joshua. He just defended his title, his IBF heavyweight title, this past weekend against Eric Molina. It was a very, very dominant performance by Anthony Joshua. I mean, he really, he stopped him in the third round. He dropped him, and then Molina got back up, and then he started, landing shots on him, and then the ref stepped in. But the first two rounds, Joshua was very calculated in there. Wasn't throwing many punches. Really sizing Molina up, see what he kind of had. And then in the third round, right off the bat, he went in looking to finish Molina. He was comfortable enough, if he felt like, and obviously he was, because he stopped Molina with ease, precision, power. Just looked really good in this fight. He's really the fundamentals. He's really got them down pat, and he might not be the most. He's not the slickest boxer, Joshua. He's not the flashiest boxer, but he's very, very solid fundamentally, and he uses seems to be pretty good head movement and level changes, and you could tell he's got a good grasp of the sport, especially Joshua, he knows how to use his tools the right way. He really knows how to set up his power, and he really didn't get hit at all in this fight. And very impressive performance. But obviously after the fight, Wladimir Klitschko came in the ring, and Eddie Hearn announced that Joshua versus Klitschko is going to be April 29th. Let's just keep our fingers crossed that everything ends up being official, and because there's talking like it's official, but is everything signed? Is all the negotiations been ironed out? I don't know, right? But let's hope it happens. They have a long time to really promote this fight. Obviously, it's going to be, they're saying it's going to be at Wembley Stadium, which holds 90,000. This would be such a huge event. Also, the WBA would be on the line as well in this fight, along with Joshua's IBF. So the winner would have 2 out of the 4 belts, and be a lineal champion as well, I believe. I think they're going to throw that in to this fight. The winner would be lineal. But really, really exciting. I hope this fight happens. It was really cool to see, Klitschko and Joshua be, so respectable with each other, and really pump up the fight in the ring after Joshua beat Molina. It was cool to see that, and it's a great fight. It's the young phenom champion versus the old champion who reigned for 9.5 years. I think he was undefeated for 10 years, but he held the heavyweight title for 9.5 years. So very, very impressive. And by the end of it, he had 3 of the 4 belts. So, huge opportunity here for Joshua, and as well as Klitschko. This gives Klitschko an opportunity to get back in there and be holding 2 out of the 4 belts. He'd have the most belts out of anyone in the heavyweight division. So he'd be on top again with a win over Joshua. And, Joshua would just solidify and legitimize who he is as a fighter with a win over Klitschko. I mean, a lot of people are already sold on Joshua, including myself. He just continues to look better and better in every single fight he has. But a win over Klitschko would really bring him to the next level. And then there'd be no debate, Now, this was an interesting fight because in the manner of which Joshua dispatched of Eric Molina makes it very interesting, because everyone later down the road wants to see Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder's also undefeated. He's 4 years older than Joshua, so he's 31. But the interesting thing is that Deontay Wilder wasn't even half as impressive as Anthony Joshua was against Molina. Deontay Wilder had some trouble, some serious trouble against Molina. He really got clipped up in his fight. Molina was tagging him. he had Deontay Wilder buzzed and hurt in this fight, and or in their fight. You know what I'm saying? So Joshua was pretty well had a perfect performance. Deontay Wilder really struggled against Eric Molina. You know, in certain parts of the fight, he really struggled. You know, he got, like I said, he got tagged, he got buzzed, he was on his back, he was backpedaling, and you could tell he was a little bit hurt in the fight. So you know that doesn't mean that Joshua would go out and knock out Deontay Wilder, but a performance is a performance, and when you're just looking at their fundamentals and their skills and their you know, like, because Deontay Wilder's a very sloppy fighter. Nothing against him. He's exciting. He's a knockout guy, but he's very very sloppy in there. And Joshua is crisp, and he's a lot more efficient with his striking. He's more precise. He has better technique, better fundamentals. So that's going to be a really tough fight for Deontay Wilder when and if that fight ever happens. But that's a really, really big fight. That would be a big pay-per-view fight. They could really build that, you know, build that fight up here in America. It would probably, I don't know. I would think they'd want to hold it in America, but I mean, with the UK fans and fan base, maybe they'd have that fight. But that's later down the road. Joshua has to get past Klitschko next. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about that because, you know, you got to remember too. Joshua, yes, he did have a better performance against Molina, like substantially, a substantially better performance against Molina than Deontay Wilder did. And you got to remember too that Deontay Wilder, when he fought Molina, that was like his 34th pro fight. This is only Anthony Joshua's 18th pro fight. Plus, you know, Joshua was 4 years younger than Deontay Wilder to begin with. So, you know, Deontay Wilder was 30 years old when he fought Molina. You know, he had 34 pro fights. Joshua, only 27, only had 18 fights, and dispatched of Molina so much easier, so much more efficiently, so much more decisively. It just really shows how amazing Anthony Joshua really is because Deontay Wilder has a title. He's considered one of the best heavyweights, you know. I know a lot of people might be fans of him, but they realize his, you know, his lack in his fundamentals, and he's very sloppy, like I'm trying to say. But anyway, I just wanted to you know, compare those two a little bit because they both fought Molina, and it's kind of interesting to see. But very good performance by Anthony Joshua. Can't wait to see him fight Wladimir Klitschko in April. I just hope everything, you know, happens and this fight really does go down April 29th at Wembley Stadium. It would be so huge for the heavyweight division, and that's a really, really good fight. I'd really, you know, it's a tough one to pick. I'm leaning towards Anthony Joshua, but he's never faced anyone close to the amount of experience as Wladimir Klitschko has. They're both the same size, you know. Joshua, I believe, has a 1-inch reach, but they're both 6'6". They're both muscular guys, pretty good athletes, you know. It's going to be a great fight. Let me know what you guys think. That's it for this one. If you liked the video, subscribe. Check me out on Twitter at MMA Boxing Talk 1. Peace.